He begged me to stay after I found the wedding board he shared with her. I stayed quiet and left months ago. Today he texted, "I miss you." I sent him back a single photo. His shocked reply came instantly. "How did you know about our new house?" So, I'm finally writing this out because I think I just need to get it off my chest. And maybe someone here can relate. I just got out of a relationship that, looking back, was a slow-motion car crash I refused to see. I always try to see the good in people. You know, I figured if I was patient and understanding enough, things would click into place. Spoiler alert. They didn't. Towards the end, he became a completely different person. I'd spend hours helping him with applications for a new job, proofreading his stuff, just being a supportive partner. But then he'd get so snappy. It'd ask a simple question like, "Hey, did you want to grab dinner tonight?" And the response would be this cold, irritated sigh. Like I'd just asked him to solve world hunger. It was exhausting. Like walking on eggshells in my own relationship. The worst part was the flaking. It became a running joke. And not a funny one. We'd make plans. Sometimes weeks in advance. To have dinner with my parents or go to a friend's barbecue. I get ready. Tell my family he's on his way. And then nothing. An hour would go by. Then 2. My phone would stay dark. It was humiliating. Sitting there making excuses for a grown man. The eventual text would always be some variation of the same pathetic line. "Sorry. I was napping." Napping. In the middle of a Saturday afternoon when you had solid plans. The first time, I was worried. The 10th time, I just felt stupid. I should have seen the other signs. Especially the weird secrecy with his phone. He had this confidential government job before we met. So I just chalked it up to old habits. My brain went into overdrive trying to justify it. He's just a private person. It's ingrained in him. It's not about you. But it was the way he'd physically angle his body away from me when he was texting. The way his phone was always face down on the table. If a notification popped up while we were watching a movie, his hand would move like a viper, swiping it away before the screen fully lit up. One night, he wasn't fast enough. We were on the couch, and his phone buzzed on the coffee table. I wasn't even looking at it, but my eyes caught the screen as he lunged for it. I saw a name. It was definitely a woman's name. Something like Jessica or Jennifer. He swiped it away and muttered, just one of the boys." My brain just kind of short-circuited for a second. The name was clearly female, but he said one of the boys. Did I misread it? No. I saw it. My immediate thought wasn't anger, but a weird, quiet confusion. It was the first time I realized, with a cold certainty, that he had just lied directly to my face about something so small. I wish I'd said something right then. I really do. But I just sat there. The sound from the TV turning into meaningless noise. That little lie planted a seed of doubt that I just couldn't shake. Have any of you been in that spot? That moment you catch a small, undeniable lie and suddenly question everything. But you don't say a word. I just didn't know how to even start. A few weeks went by. And things were in that weird, tense limbo. The lie about the text message was always in the back of my mind. Then, one evening, he did something completely normal that blew my whole world up. We were talking about some DIY project. And he said, "Oh, hold on. I've got some ideas saved." He sent me a link to his Pinterest. "Just look at that board," he said. And I did. It was normal stuff. Woodworking. Tools. Whatever. But I was already on his profile. And my curiosity, that nagging voice that had been whispering for weeks, just took over. I know. Snooping is a gray area. But he gave me the link. Right. It felt like fair game. I clicked on his other boards. One for recipes. One for cars. And then one that made my heart jump into my throat. The title was simple. Wedding. For a split second, I was overjoyed. My mind raced. Oh my God. Is this for us? He's thinking about our future. It was such a pure, happy thought. Then I saw the little icon next to the title. It was a collaborative board. My stomach tightened. I clicked on it. And there it was. Right under the title. A collaboration between his name and her name. It was her. The name from the phone notification? I just stared at the screen. My brain was trying to find a logical, innocent reason for this. Maybe it's his sister. A cousin. But his sister is married. And I know her name. I didn't say anything to him. I just closed the laptop. My mind was buzzing. I needed to know. So I did what anyone in my position would do. I opened Facebook and typed in her name. Her profile was public. And the profile picture, it stopped my breath. It was him. His arm was wrapped tightly around her waist. Her head was resting on his shoulder. And they were both beaming. A real, genuine smile I hadn't seen from him in months. This was the man who claimed to hate having his photo taken. Who I didn't have a single picture with after more than a year together. And here he was. Plastered as someone else's profile picture. Looking happier than I'd ever seen him. That's when I finally broke. I walked into the living room. My hands shaking as I held my phone. "Who is this?" I asked. My voice was quiet. But it felt like a scream. He looked at the picture. And his whole face just crumpled. But it wasn't anger or denial. It was tears. Big, silent tears started rolling down his cheeks as he just looked at me. His bottom lip trembling. He didn't offer an explanation. He just cried. And that's the most maced up part of his manipulation. It worked. Instead of feeling angry, I suddenly felt like a monster. I had made him cry. My brain was screaming. This is an act. He got caught. But my heart just saw the person I loved sobbing in front of me. I fell for it. I comforted him. I let him pull me into a hug while he cried into my shoulder. And we never actually talked about who she was? I stayed. Why is it so easy to believe a performance when the truth is staring you right in the face? After the crying incident, there was no real apology or explanation. We just moved on. But I hadn't. The trust I had in him was gone. Withered away to nothing. Every time he was late. Every time he hit his phone. My mind didn't make excuses anymore. I just knew. That gut feeling had turned into a constant, heavy weight in my stomach. The final piece of the puzzle clicked into place a week later. He had mentioned months ago, before all this, that he was planning a holiday. He made a huge deal about how he needed to go alone to clear his head, and had chosen this specific city to visit. It sounded so noble at the time. I was scrolling through the other woman's Facebook profile again, and I saw her location listed. It was the exact same city he was planning his solo trip to. It wasn't a coincidence. My brain finally put it all together. The secret texts were to her. The wedding board was with her. The trip wasn't for him to find himself. It was for him to be with her. I wasn't his partner. I was a placeholder. A convenient halfway house while he actively built his real life with someone else. That was it. There was no more room for doubt. I ended it that night. I told him calmly that I couldn't do this anymore. At first, he just looked confused. Like I was speaking a different language. "What do you mean? What's wrong?" he asked. His eyes wide. When I laid it all out. The name. The Pinterest board. The photo. The trip. The tears started again. But this time, I was immune. He told me I was crazy. That I was connecting dots that weren't there. He tried to twist it. To make it seem like my lack of trust was the problem. Not his blatant betrayal. "I don't understand why you're doing this," he sobbed. But I didn't fall for it. I just felt empty. I had given him all my time. My energy. My support. And it wasn't enough because it was never meant for me. Fast forward to today. It's been months. Healing isn't a straight line. And sometimes I have moments of weakness. Every so often. I type their names into Pinterest. It's like picking at a scab. I know. But I can't help it. The wedding board is still there. And they've added to it recently. But this afternoon, I saw something new. A board titled Our House. Also collaborative. I clicked on it. It was full of pictures of kitchen renovations, nursery furniture, and backyard landscaping ideas. It had been updated 3 hours ago. As I was sitting there, staring at the plans for a life that was so clearly, publicly not with me, my phone buzzed. It was a number I hadn't deleted but had long since silenced. It was him. The message was 2 words. "I miss you." The audacity. The absolute, mind-blowing audacity of this boy. To be actively building a home with another woman and then send a text like that. For anyone reading this who has that same weird, sick feeling in their gut, don't ignore it. It's not in your head. Trust it. Mine proved me right in the most heartbreaking way possible. But it also set me free. Now my only problem is figuring out how to ignore this text and not send back the novel-length response he truly deserves. Don't cave to that dreaded message.